In this video, I'll show you how to write an equation of a line using the method of least squares. The method of least squares is a method to fit a straight line to a data set so that the sum of the squares of the residuals is a minimum. Now you're probably wondering what a residual is. The residual is the vertical distance between the data point and the approximating curve that you make. This is why it's called the least squares, and an illustration of this is shown to your left. The question reads, find the equation of the straight line that best fits the following data. Use the method of least squares. What you'll need to be successful in creating this equation are these two formulas. And what you need to do is organize your data into a 4-column table. The first column will list all of your x's, 1 through 8. Your second column will list all of your y's, this number all the way to this number. Your third column will be all of the x coordinates squared. So you're going to square each of these. And finally, in the fourth column, you'll have x times y, where these two coordinates are multiplied. And the reason why we're doing all of this is take a look at the formulas. Notice that we have the sum of xy, so we need to find all of the xy's and then add them up. We need to add up all of the x's, all of the y's, and similarly add up all of the x to the power of 2 numbers that we find. If you set up your table correctly, you should end up with something that looks like this. So I've gone ahead and set up a table, as suggested earlier. Take a look. The first column is x, second is y, third is x to the power of 2, and the fourth is x times y. And just to go through a couple of rows with you, this is the x coordinate, that's the y coordinate. If we take 1 to the power of 2, we get 1. And if we multiply 1 times 3.249, we get 3.249. And similarly, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, and 2 times 3.522 is this product. The next step is to find out the sum of all of these rows, the sum of all of these rows, and so on. The sum of all of these rows can be defined like this, where this Greek letter sigma represents sum. 1 plus 2 is 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, and 36. X is equal to 36. Let's do the same thing for y. If you do this correctly, you should end up with the sum of y is equal to 36.649. And I wrote it down here just to make some room. The sum of all of these numbers, and feel free to use your calculator for this, I'll represent it as sum of x squared is equal to 204. And the sum of all of these, which I'll represent as sum of xy, is equal to 181.316. Now I have everything I need to substitute into my two formulas. The only thing that's not defined yet is n, and n represents the number of, in our case, the rows here. So n is equal to 8. Let's substitute these values. The slope is equal to, and by the way, we are creating a straight line, so all straight lines have the template y is equal to mx plus b. All straight lines can be shown in this way, where m represents the slope, b represents the y-intercept. Going back to this, we have m is equal to 8 times the sum of xy, which was 181.316, minus the sum of x times the sum of y. The sum of x was 36, and the sum of y was 36.649. In case you forgot what they are, they're written right here. Over, and now I will write down this part, we have 8 times the sum of x to the power of 2, 204, minus the sum of x to the power of 2. So this number 36 squared. Let's use our calculator to calculate this. We have 8 times 181.316 minus 36 bracket 36.649. That gives us our numerator. Divide that by 8 times 204 minus 36 to the power of 2. And this gives me 0.39 as my slope. M is equal to 0.3904. Now I have to do the same thing for the y-intercept, where I'll use this formula, b is equal to, and remember your values, you add x to the power of 2, its sum, times y, so 204 times 36.649 minus the sum of x times the sum of xy. 36 times 181.316 over, the bottom part is my n value of 8 times 204 minus 36 to the power of 2. Using my calculator, 204 times 36.649 minus 36 times 181.316 divided by this part now, and this gives me 2.824. B is equal to 2.824. Using the template that I wrote above, my equation for this line is y is equal to 0.3904 x plus 2.824. And so there you have it. That is how to write an equation of a line using the method of least squares.